Nairobi doesn't look like Silicon Valley. There are no glass towers stretching endlessly into the sky, no Teslas lining every street, no billion-dollar logos flashing on buildings. Instead, what you see is chaos. Motorbikes weaving through traffic, street vendors shouting over each other, dust rising into the air as people rush to somewhere, anywhere. But beneath that chaos, something unusual is happening. Because in this city, people are building billion-dollar ideas from their phones. No venture capital offices, no fancy incubators, just code, creativity, and survival. And somehow, Nairobi became Africa's Silicon Valley. We came to Nairobi expecting to find tech campuses, startup hubs, maybe even Africa's version of Silicon Valley. But what we found instead was very different. Because here, innovation doesn't live in glass buildings. It lives in matatus, in roadside kiosks, in cramped apartments where Wi-Fi cuts out every few hours. And the deeper we went, the more we realized something. Nairobi's tech story isn't just about apps or startups. It's about people solving problems the rest of the world ignores. This is not Silicon Valley 2.0. This is something else entirely. This is inside Nairobi. Nairobi wasn't supposed to become a tech hub. Not by global standards. The infrastructure is inconsistent. Electricity can be unreliable. Internet was once slow and expensive. And yet somehow, this city became one of Africa's most important innovation centers. To understand how, you have to understand Nairobi itself. A city of contrasts. Luxury malls sitting next to informal settlements, global corporations operating just minutes away from communities with no basic services. Places like Kibera, one of the largest informal settlements in Africa, where millions of people live with limited access to clean water, banking, or even formal employment. And that's exactly where this story begins. Because when systems don't work, people build their own. Before smartphones, before apps, Kenya had a problem. Millions of people had no bank accounts. No safe way to save money. No easy way to send money across the country. No real access to the formal economy. And then, a simple idea changed everything. M-Pesa, a system that allowed people to send money using basic mobile phones. No bank needed, no paperwork, no barriers, just a SIM card and trust. Launched by Safaricom, it didn't just succeed, it exploded. Street vendors started accepting payments. Families sent money across villages instantly. Small businesses finally had access to financial tools. And for the first time, millions of people became part of an economy that had excluded them. This wasn't just innovation. It was survival turned into technology, and it put Nairobi on the map. They call it the Silicon Savannah, not because it looks like Silicon Valley, but because of what's being built here. In places like iHub, young developers gather, not to chase hype, but to solve real problems. Apps for farmers tracking crops. Platforms helping small businesses access credit. Health tools connecting rural patients to doctors. This is tech with a different purpose. In Silicon Valley, startups ask, how do we scale? In Nairobi, they ask, how do we survive and help others survive? And that difference changes everything. Because here, failure isn't just a setback. It's a cost people can't afford. We met a developer working out of a single-room apartment. No office, no team. Just a laptop and unstable internet. He told us something that stayed with us. I'm not building for investors. I'm building for my mother. His app was simple, a tool to help small traders track daily sales. Nothing flashy, but for someone running a roadside business, that tool could mean everything. We met a young woman teaching kids how to code, not because it's trendy, but because she believes the next generation shouldn't be locked out of opportunity. And we met founders who had failed multiple times, not because their ideas were bad, but because the system wasn't built to support them. And yet, they keep going. Because in Nairobi, innovation isn't optional. It's necessary. But there's a side of this story that doesn't get told. The struggles. Funding is limited. Infrastructure still fails. Global investors often overlook local ideas. And sometimes, the very problems people are trying to solve become obstacles to building solutions. Internet cuts out during important meetings. Power outages stop work mid-project. Promising startups disappear quietly. No headlines, no coverage, just gone. Because building Africa's Silicon Valley isn't glamorous. It's hard, and most people never see that part. But despite the challenges, the world is paying attention. Companies like Google and Microsoft have established a presence here, not out of charity, but because they see potential. Because Nairobi represents something rare, a place where innovation is driven by necessity, where solutions are tested in real-world conditions, where technology isn't a luxury, it's a tool for survival. And that makes it powerful. Here's the truth. Nairobi is not trying to be Silicon Valley, and that's exactly why it matters. Because while Silicon Valley builds for convenience, Nairobi builds for reality, for people without bank accounts, without stable jobs, without safety nets. And in doing so, it's creating solutions the rest of the world can learn from, not the other way around. Nairobi doesn't look like the future, but it might be. A place where innovation grows not from abundance, but from necessity, where billion-dollar ideas don't start in boardrooms but on the streets. And maybe that's the lesson, because the next global breakthrough might not come from where we expect. It might come from places we've been ignoring. If you found this story eye-opening, make sure you check out the rest of our Inside Africa series. Because the deeper we go, the more we realize something. There's a whole world of stories we've barely begun to understand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you know when we drop our next video. Thank you for watching.